Hello, good morning. This is Dr. Daniel White, and we have another episode of 5 Minutes Obesity today. Today, I want to talk about low carbs diet. There are many names of the low carbs diet, and the pioneer of this kind of diet is Dr. Atkins, who has since passed away. But what he suggested was to limit greatly the amount of carbohydrates, and since then there have been many names such as the South Beach diet, and then the zone diet, which also somewhat limits the carbohydrates, and then we have the more recent Paleo diet, a short form for Paleolithic. And it's believed that, when our hunter-gatherer forefathers used not to have grains, and they just hunt animals and eat seeds and nuts. Okay, so all these are variations of the same theme of a low carbohydrate diet. Now, it's not only these people, these kind of diet promoters that promote the diet. Actually, everybody, all the government and all the health organizations do recommend that we take a lower carbohydrates diet, in the sense that we often hear about, please do not add added sugar, extra sugar into your coffee, your tea, and all that, etc. And really, and we are having, all over the world, it seems that our sugar intake, our carbohydrates intake has been increasing, and therefore it is important to cut down, especially on the unhealthy, sugar, especially for patients with diabetes or obesity. So, but these low carbohydrate diets are a little bit more extreme, in the sense that they are asking you not to have any carbohydrates, so no rice, no bread. The most extreme form, Dr. Atkin's diet, not even vegetables for the first 2 to 3 weeks of the induction phase. Now, I must say that I have some issues with the pure form of Atkin's diet, because even Dr. Atkins acknowledged that 20% of the patients would have greatly increased level of cholesterol, especially the bad LDL cholesterol. Whereas some people has advocated that those LDL particles, the bad cholesterol particles, are bigger, more buoyant, and less likely to go into the blood vessel walls to cause blockage of the arteries. That the more recent analysis show that it may make it a little bit less, but it's still a risk factor for heart disease and stroke. So generally, what I tell my patient is that if you're going to limit the carbohydrate intake, that should be the most important thing. Do not also stop the fruits and vegetables. I mean, fruits is like 1 serving every meal. Vegetables, please eat a lot. So we do not limit the fibers, but the rice, maybe you can cut from 1 bowl, 1 portion, to half a bowl or even a quarter. And eat a lot of vegetables and eat healthy proteins. And I do not advocate that you eat the high fat, kind of diet, like fatty pork or cheese omelette, to eat in the morning. Because if you take a very high fat diet while together with the low carbs component, without good quality protein, what will happen is that the bad cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, would shoot up very, very high. So how is it accepted nowadays, with the low carbohydrate diet, in the management of obesity and diabetes? Well, there have been many studies done for the low carbohydrate diet, and it's generally found that the low carbohydrate diet works a little bit better than the calorie counting, and it works as well as the Mediterranean diet, in the biggest 2-year study that was published a few years ago in the New England Journal of Medicine. So it works, and it has been accepted by mainstream diabetes organizations, including the American Diabetes Association, to be a form of diet intervention in the management of diabetes. So certainly, if you don't take carbohydrates, what happens? What is carbohydrate? Well, sugars and starches like bread, rice. When you take those things, the body would digest the starches to make them into simple sugars. And when they have the simple sugars in the gut, you absorb it and the blood sugar starts to go up. So obviously, even if you have diabetes, as long as you don't take in carbohydrates, the sugar cannot go up. So it is, one of the things that's been suggested by even endorsed by the American Diabetes Association. But if you have diabetes and your medication and you're going to embark on this medicine, please discuss with your doctor, see whether you need to decrease the amount of medication that you need to take, because otherwise you can get low sugar. So that's all for today, and bye.